Horror movies have introduced us to some of the most terrifying villains ever put on screen. Some horror icons even become legends, while others leave a mark in our minds forever. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most terrifying horror movie villains of all time. From demonic entities to mass psychopaths, these villains aren't just scary, they're unforgettable. And trust me, number 1 might haunt you tonight. But before that, the comment shout out today goes to The Bat 1992. Thank you. Also be sure to drop your rankings down below in the comments. Are there any horror characters I forgot? Who scares you? Now, let's prepare ourselves to be scared and get right on into the list. Number 10, The Strangers. Starting off strong with The Strangers in, well, The Strangers. Yes, they are just humans, they have no special ability, but that's not what makes them scary. What makes them scary is the situation itself. 3 people, no powers, no backstory, no motive. These people literally attacked this couple because they were home. They simply do it for the love of the game. The scenario feels so real that it feels like something that can truly happen, and that element in of itself creates a layer of deep fear and worry that not many other movies with demons or superpowered slashers can accomplish. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was almost tempted to have Scream here in place of The Strangers, but the one thing that stopped me was how this situation seems a bit more plausible. Number 9 is pretty far from plausible, but the character just scared the piss out of me, so they made the cut. Up next is number 9, The Bride in Black. Coming in at number 9 is one of the antagonists of the Insidious films. And no, it's not the red-faced demon, but the Bride in Black. I'm sure most of you would assumed I would have went for that red dude, and while yes, he is scary, there's just something about the Bride in Black that's just deeply terrifying. I mean, bro, look at this. Try and tell me that shit ain't even a little spooky. I'll wait. The design is straight nightmare fuel. That grim wedding dress, sunken eyes, and that cracked smile. Their backstory also adds fuel to the fire due to how tragic it is. They were psychologically abused by their mother when they were a child, which led them into their descent into madness as a serial killer targeting young women. Dressed as, well, Bride in Black, they haunt those they become obsessed with, hoping and attempting to possess them and take over their body. Spooky. Coming up, we have an entry that had an impact on me in my life for years. Number 8, Samara Morgan. The Ring brings in my number 8. Samara Morgan and her love of crawling through old box TVs used to mess with me. The movie follows people receiving a VHS tape that showed a creepy imagery which leads into the viewer only having 7 days left. Even if you haven't even seen the movie, I'm sure you've heard the words, 7 days.
Shut the hell up.
My first watch through of this movie was when I was very young and gullible. Yes, I thought gullible was written on the ceiling. My parents had VHS tapes of old movies when I was a kid, and I would see them and stay as far away from them as I could. Yes, the cover said it was Austin Powers and Goldmember, but what if this chick decided to crawl through at me? No sir, I'm good. The plot and setup was extremely terrifying, but that's not even all of it. The titular character of Samara Morgan had the scariest look with her hair just covering her face as she slowly approached the screen, and proceeded to crawl through. Nope, my next entry is an oldie, but I can still see it affecting people to this day. Number 7, Pazuzu. One of the oldest entries that's still effective to this day comes to us from the OG haunting film, The Exorcist. Number 7 is Pazuzu, the demon that possessed Reagan. Look, the crab walk, the voice changes, the vomit, sure, that's scary. But what really messes you up? The flashes of that white-faced demon thing in the shadows. You barely see it, but you feel it. The film is old, and sometimes that's a bad thing, as time can really age up some of the effects. But here, it doesn't really do that, and in fact, it kind of helps it out some. It gives it that feeling as though you're watching some old lost footage that wasn't meant to be seen. And the idea that a demon could take over anyone, even a kid? Yeah, no thanks. Kids are supposed to be safe, but this movie takes that away from us. It's not my favorite movie in the world, I won't lie to you, but it definitely does creep me out. Oddly enough, this isn't even the only older movie with an entry on this list, because up next we got number 6, Leatherface. The man, the myth, the skin-wearing legend, Leatherface. Chainsaw in one hand, someone's face on his own, This dude does not just kill, he butchers. Not only is it scary that the fact that a 300-pound man is full speed sprinting at you with a running chainsaw, it's also the family dynamic of his being involved. Inside their home lies bones of probably every variety and objects made out of the leftover bits and bobs. It's insane. They are literally a group of cannibals that, for the most part, run the whole town, as they are just about the only ones living there. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre still feels nasty and real to this day, and Leatherface is a big reason why. Well, would you look at that? We have made it to the halfway point. We are down to the top 5 most terrifying horror villains, but before we get into that, if you find yourself enjoying the video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more content. Also, don't forget to give me your list down in the comments below. Now, my number 5 is one that you may or may not know. Number 5, Hell House LLC Clown. Kicking off the top 5 is probably one of the creepiest things you've probably even never heard of. The clown from the Hell House LLC movies. To be honest, I don't even know if it really has a name. They did go over some of his backstory in the most recent film, but yeah. The Hell House series is a set of found footage films that is massively underrated, and it comes with some really good scares, particularly from the said clown. This thing never moves until you look away. It just appears in corners closer than before. It's like if Pennywise took a vow of silence and only wanted to be in your peripheral vision, which kinda adds to the scares. It's like those mannequin scenes that were cool until they happened 47 times too many. That clown dude just has that look, and while I do believe they can't really become a major player, they need more recognition for the intense moments they bring without doing much of anything. Moving on up, number 4, The Thing. Number 4 goes to one of the greatest horror movies ever made, John Carpenter's The Thing. So first up, the gore. The grotesque practical effects were so well done that they hold up to this day. So one, seeing that thing chasing me would already have me curled up in the fetal position, but that's not even the worst of it. The mental gymnastic hurdles and leaps I would be forced to do in order to try and predict who it's pretending to be at that moment is what's truly terrifying. Is it my bud? Is it my cat? Is it that weird looking spider creature with a human face on it? How do I know? A shape-shifting alien is a no-go for me. Before we jump into the top 3, as a special little treat, I have 3 honorable mentions to toss out. Now, they are still terrifying in their own rights, they just didn't manage to crack the top 10 for me. The honorable mentions go to Annabelle, The Creeper, Bathsheba. Now let's take a trip to the top 3 most terrifying horror villains of all time. First up, number 3, Kayako Seiki. Number 3 goes to Kayako from Ju-on The Grudge. Her design is already scary enough, but not only is it just that, but it's also her movements. That croaking death rattle, the way she just stares at you as she crawls down the stairs. Nope, I could not handle that. The croaking itself is insane, and then everything else being tossed in is wild. My number 2 is one that a lot of people would probably have on their list, as it's kind of a no-brainer one. Number 2, Art the Clown. Number 2 goes to the newest kid on the block, Art the Clown, the silent but deadly killer.
You're not even the fuck.
The thing that makes Art so scary is how relentless he is and how he just kinda enjoys it. There's one scene in Terrifier 2 that had horror fans squirming in their seats, and you know the one I mean. Yes, the shower scene in 3 is rough, and I mean very rough, but that scene in 2 might never be topped. And going back to what I said, bro enjoyed it. He was laughing as he committed one of the most intense scenes I've ever seen. But with that being said, we have officially made it. We made it to the most terrifying horror villain. Now again, this is my list. You may or may not agree with me, and that's cool. But you have to tell me yours. I love learning your opinions. Who is your scariest horror villain? For me, it's gotta be number 1, Bagul. My number 1 takes us on over to the film Sinister. That's right, my dude Bagul is the scariest villain in horror for me. Dude isn't chasing you with a knife, but he haunts your family and preys on the children's minds. His look is unreal, and it low-key gives off like an alternate Slenderman vibe. When you watch those 8mm tapes that, by the way, are just out of this world in their own rights, and then you see Bagul just chilling in the back as he has one of the kids take out their families in wild ways. Also, I've never been a fan of cheap jump scares, and while this film isn't empty of them, they work here. When Ellison looks away from the picture and then Bagul turns to look at us, that's one of the moments that has been sealed and etched into my memory for years. That has been 10 of the most terrifying horror villains of all time, with a few extra tossed in because, well, why not? Is this list completely wrong, or is it pretty accurate? Let me know your thoughts and more, like your rankings, down in the comments below. If you watched this entire video, well, firstly, thank you, you're goated, and you might as well subscribe if that's the case, and since you're obviously a horror fan like me, make sure you watch my video where I review and rank every Halloween movie in that long-running franchise. To see that, click here. Stay chill, and I will see you next time.